It's November 20th. It's cool, overcast, and windy. I should be duck hunting, but it's Sunday in North Carolina, so you get to listen to me talk again. I'm Bruce, and you're watching Foul Play Outdoors.
You're watching the Foul Play YouTube channel.
What's up, Foul Players? Hey, like I said, it's Sunday, which means in North Carolina we're not shooting any ducks. I'm not going to go off on that right now, but I thought I would kind of share an update. I haven't produced any content in a while. Been busy. Been doing some hunting. Taking 3 trips down to the coast. I got one coming up again right after Thanksgiving. No decent footage from those, so nothing interesting to share there. But sitting in the blind over the bean hole. I've hunted it twice. Hunted it yesterday with my buddy Ethan, whose family owns the land. So we sat in here. Good news, bad news, I guess. We didn't shoot any ducks. We saw more than I did the last time. I hunted here a week prior as well and didn't see many. We had ducks fly over us, almost close enough to maybe take a shot at some wood ducks, but just not quite. So I think we're on increasing numbers. I was a little worried that the numbers have been dwindling on the game cameras, and maybe we'd kind of shot them a little too hard. I mean, we haven't shot dozens, but there's not dozens around here right now. But the good news is I think we're on increasing numbers. We've got a club, some guys that actually have a fairly large impoundment back behind us. I think we heard them shoot quite a bit. Someone across the river from us, we could hear them shooting, and we could hear somebody shooting from back in this direction as well, where there's more beaver swamps and things like that. So someone was getting some shooting the other day, just wasn't us. But I think it's going to happen. I don't think the ducks have really found this spot yet, which is surprising because we actually shot quite a few out of here last year. So something's different in here, and I'm not sure what. But if the ducks could talk, I guess they could tell me. But it's looking pretty good. Let me show you a little drone footage I took. This was a couple of weeks ago, and I'm coming at the blind here, as you can see, and I think water's pretty visible. I think that looks pretty good from the air. Those ducks that flew over us or near us, just about treetop high, they could see it. So I'm, again, not sure why they're not coming in here. That looks pretty good, and if anything, it's more open now than when I shot that footage. So hopefully the ducks will eventually find us in here. I don't know why they would not. The ducks have surprised me quite a bit so far this season. I opened up the big hole and expected them to come in pretty good, and they did right at first. I could see them in there feeding on that smartweed that I'd cut and was flooded, but then one day they just stopped, and I've seen them maybe once or twice. They're swimming from the back hole, coming to the edge, but they don't want to come in that open. I know wood ducks do like that overhead cover, and I did take a lot of that out, I guess. But by the same token, I've shot wood ducks over large, wide open impoundments before. Granted, they were coming into freshly flooded millet, but that smartweed should be just as appetizing, if maybe not even more, than the millet. But again, I think we've been dealing with these local wood ducks so far all season. We've seen a few mallards. Again, I think they're local birds as well. We've even seen teal. Just about every time we've been out, we got little small ducks buzzing us, which I think is cool. I think teal are neat. I would definitely be excited to shoot some out of here. But let me share you a couple of updates with some things that at least in my mind, were kind of up in the air. How's this going to develop? I had worked, and you guys saw probably in the earlier video, I had worked to plug some leaks in the dam. Let's go take a look at that. Some developments there. And also my water control structure, if you will, which is just a piece of flexible drainage tile, 4-inch drainage tile. Some things there that are are kind of positive in how that's working out. That I thought were going to be kind of a upside for that method, but it looks like they will. And I'll take you over there and show that as well. So let's pause here for a second. Give me a chance to walk over here to the little dam, and we'll take a look. All right, here we are. This is the dam that the beavers built for me that is holding the water here in the bean hole. Without this structure here, we'd have to come up with something on our own or just not hunt here. This is, the beavers been working on this for years. So as you can see, I hope from that camera angle, the water, it's full. The water is up to the top here. And in fact, when I was in here about a week ago, it was actually trickling over just a little bit, which I was hoping would happen because exactly what I wanted to happen did happen. And the beavers sensed that, and they actually came in here. I'll turn the camera around. Take a look at this. There is the beavers built up more of the dam. There's piles of mud right here. I can't even see their little, footprints and stuff in here, and they're actually trying to make it bigger. So that's great. I'm working on a couple of ideas to maybe have some type of a continuous flow of water in here. I don't need a ton more water in here, but more wouldn't hurt me, so I'll take it. But this is coming out well. The clay I put down, and we worked into the soil. Tom worked it in for me. Is doing its job. I still have some leakage. There's a little trickle over here, and then one over there that I actually worked some clay into that as well. It's just a tiny, tiny trickle. That's not even in the dam. That's water just seeping through the ground. Probably the roots of these trees are allowing the water to trickle through. But definitely, I think within kind of the what will be acceptable for water coming out of here. I do have to be careful. I try to avoid stepping on this area. I just did, and you can see water kind of start to ooze out of it. So this is staying wet, but I don't really see much movement in the water. Just this one little trickle over there. So bentonite clay worked, and the beavers are working as well. So they're coming in here and helping me out. So beavers are my friend today. All right, that's kind of what's going on here. So let's look at some other stuff. All right, so I thought that was pretty cool. The beavers are helping me out, which I thought they would if I ever got the water high enough to trickle over that. And it looks like that bentonite clay has done its job. Tom came in. He's got one of those little bitty tiny rototillers that's like almost like a weed whacker. I think it is his weed whacker with an extension on that. And he worked in that stuff pretty good, which I had done a little research on how to use it. There's a couple of accepted practices. I saw people that were just sprinkling it in the water and said they had success. That didn't seem to work for me. Maybe I don't have enough current or enough of a big enough drain to pull it down. It didn't work for me. But you can either put a layer of that clay down and then put dirt over it and pack it in, or till it into the soil, which is what we did, what Tom did. I watched. But that worked pretty good. So I think I'm going to do that probably after the season back over in the big hole, because it's not really holding water like I thought it would. Probably because I put that pipe in there, which was crazy. It held water. Last year, for some reason, all the water drained out one day. Like over an acre of water drained in a day. I don't know what's going on over there. I know the beavers are active over there, but I'm sure digging a hole through their dam and putting a pipe in there, and there's leakage around it. I can see it. Right now the creek's high enough backing up in there that you can't see it trickling out, but I saw that before the creek came up. So I'll probably get some more of that bentonite clay, do the same thing, work it in. I may even do some stuff where I get some like a wheelbarrow and put some dirt in it, and they say mix it at about a 70-30, 70% dirt, 30% clay. If you're going to mix it up and incorporate it, and then pack it back in and pack it down. Maybe I'll try some of that, but that's a next season thing. There's still plenty of water in the back hole. It's a little deeper, so ducks, I think, still have plenty of water. I am going to pump it again. I'm going to hunt here. It's going to be freezing tonight, so I don't want to leave that pump sitting with water in it overnight freezing. So I'm going to hunt here Thanksgiving morning, so I'll probably walk over there before I leave and put gas in it and let it run, because that'll be the last time I hunt here the boys might come and hunt. I hope they do Saturday sometime after Thanksgiving. But I'll be on my last hunt down the coast. So anyway, that's me rambling on about that stuff. Let's now pause again. Let's take a look. I mentioned some kind of interesting in my mind developments with how my little water control structure over here is working. So let's pause for a second. Again, let me walk over that side, and I'll show you what I'm talking about over there. It's a unintended consequence that ended up being, I think, pretty beneficial. All right, let's go take a look. All right, so this is kind of cool how this works out here. When the level in the pond is higher than the level of the creek, this pipe floats up out of the water. Now, I'll be honest, I just picked it up so it float for a second to take the video, but I was out here the other day. The creek was over here was lower than the pond, and this pipe was floating. It's about to sink. Now they're pretty equal right now, so I guess it's going to continue to float. But here's why I think that's cool. Oh, here comes the water. Here's why this is cool. When I can leave this pipe in, I was concerned with, it flows water in, but is it going to flow water out as well? I can leave the pipe in, but leave it out, and when the creek level is the same or higher, then the pipe stays in the water and water flows in, keeps my hole full of water. When the creek drops, which it was a week or so ago, this is now higher than the creek. This pipe will float up out of the water and doesn't let the water flow back into the creek. So it's like a little one-way check valve almost. I kind of wondered if that would be the case as I was working with this stuff. I kind of saw how easy it wanted to float. But yeah, that worked out really well for me. A real lucky kind of unintended consequence there that worked out in my favor. So it's looking pretty good. Water's coming through there right now, which is, keeping the hole fed. Like I said, we got a couple of small leaks over there still. But at this point, the creek is high. There's a bobber over there. The creek is about the same level. This is where we've plugged it. Yeah, they're the same level. So that's keeping water coming in here. So that's awesome. Very cool about that. So yeah, that's an update on that. So that's all I got to show you for that. All right, that's pretty cool. I thought that the way that pipe will float up when the pond height, or impoundment if you want to call it that, my pond height water is higher than the creek or source height, that that pipe just kind of floats up out of the water and doesn't allow water to flow back out. It's almost like a little one-way valve. And then when the creek comes up again, water starts flowing in, weights that pipe down, and boom, I've got water coming in. And with the height of the creek right now, it's just kind of maintaining at the moment, which is perfect. I mean, I couldn't ask for more than that. So that's pretty cool. I am happy with that. Everything about this little hole here is shaping up for the positive, with the exception of ducks. So hopefully Thursday we'll get them. They were closer this past, well, not Saturday, yesterday. They were closer Saturday than they had been Monday when I was out here. So if they get closer again Thursday, we'll shoot them. So I would love to do that. All this rice and stuff. Let me turn you around here. Let's take a look at the status of this hole right now. I think it looks fantastic. Sorry for the jiggling, but if you look out here, water's kind of open. I got some wood duck decoys out there just to maybe kind of tease them in coming in. It's open. The rice is dying. Some of this rice is still very green, so I'm definitely going to plant rice sooner next year. But we got open water. We got the creek over to this side over here, which is where our water's coming from. But this looks good. And as we saw in that drain footage, it looks like open water from the sky. So don't know why ducks are not just piling in here. But anywho, that's kind of where we stand today here, almost at the end of our November split. It's just a few weeks we get here in November. Well, how the routine is there. We'll be out for a couple weeks and they'll come back in sometime mid-December. But hopefully these ducks start showing up out here. Habitat's looking good. Weather is actually better. We've had some freezing cold. I don't know if that snow they're getting up in New York is going to be widespread enough to push any ducks our way, but fingers crossed on that. Even though those guys probably aren't happy to see it, I am. Eventually we'll shoot a duck out of here this year. So That's all for my update today. Just want to kind of keep it short and sweet. Like I said, I can't hunt ducks, so I might as well talk about hunting ducks, right? And now I'll go home and watch the Panthers probably get beat by the Ravens. But, whatever. It is what it is. So, thanks a lot for following along. Hope you enjoy. And don't forget, give me that thumbs up and a subscribe if you enjoy my content. Thanks a lot. Have a good day.